All right. Well, hello and welcome to today's 15-minute franchisee interview. I'm so excited to be interviewing you today. And this is just such a wonderful way for our candidates going through the education process to hear from owners who are with the right at home system. So, thank you again for taking time out of your day to meet with me. So let's get started. Why don't you tell everyone who you are, where you're located, how many offices you own, and when you became an owner with Right at Home?
Well, great, Jenna. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and talk a little bit about the business every day, right? So, my name's
Hmm.
Ken Helmuth, and I've been in the business now since 2014 when I acquired the very first office and/or location. And so, I have five territories that I work with. We have three primary offices that support those five territories. The legacy office, the very first one was in Durham, North Carolina, and that was in 2014. And then in 2020, I acquired an existing Raleigh-based office.
Hmm.
And then in 2022, we went into the Charlotte market and we acquired an existing Charlotte office, and there are three territories there, so the
Hmm.
total of five. So we have two in the Triangle area, and then we have the one main one in the Charlotte market. We do have a satellite office because we
Hmm.
cover the majority of the Charlotte area, and so we had to have an additional office.
All right. Well, congratulations. So let me ask you, how did you know it was the right time to expand in your business?
Yeah, I think some of it's driven by excuse me, the opportunity.
Hmm.
In both cases, it was different opportunities, but I also feel like I had the opportunity to grow the legacy business to a
Hmm.
point that allowed us to scale properly.
Hmm.
And I think one of the keys to the success of this business is your ability to scale, and that includes not just caregivers and
Hmm.
office staff, but also kind of some of the operational efficiencies that you can get by
Hmm.
scaling. And so we had done that by 2019, which was a really, really successful year for the Durham area. And then in 2020, the gentleman in Raleigh wanted to retire. So that was a timing and
Hmm.
was a good time. And that was based on a great relationship that I had built with my neighbor.
Hmm.
And so he was right next to me, a contiguous territory in Raleigh. And that basically made the entire Triangle area. So we service a six county area here in the Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, North
Hmm.
Carolina area. And then the other one in Charlotte was more of just somebody wanting to get out of the business.
Hmm.
They were young when they got into it, but had not been very successful.
Hmm.
And I felt like that marketplace had the potential to be everything that the
Hmm.
Triangle has been and continues to be. And we're seeing the fruits of that now, even. I mean, we just celebrated our third year. And I can tell you in the last 6 weeks, we've probably had record highs, 3 weeks of those in the
Wow.
Charlotte market. So it's continuing to grow. But the timing of it happened in different ways.
Hmm.
But I think it was on the front end, our ability to be prepared
Hmm.
going in based on what we had built in the Durham market.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for that. And really just comes down to feeling confident that you have the operations in place to expand when those opportunities do arise. So thank you for that. So tell us a little bit about your background before you became a right-at-home owner.
Yeah, if I can remember, because it seems like that's a lifetime ago. But no, I spent about 22 years in the medical field, primarily in pharmaceuticals and in medical device. And it was
Hmm.
mostly in sales, sales management, other executive leadership
Hmm.
opportunities that I had for large companies, a startup company, kind of the gamut, but it was mostly in sales, operations, and leadership. And I think it really gave me a great platform
Hmm.
to know
Hmm.
healthcare.
Hmm.
I knew that there was an aging population. I knew that I knew how to at least I knew about people, and I felt like the management gave me that leg up to at least
Mm-hmm.
know that I know it's the people that make the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I spent my time doing. And I feel like Right at Home kind of found me.
Mm.
I wasn't really looking to be a business owner. Had
Mm-hmm.
no idea that I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be a business owner. And I lost my job in 2013 and had it really to the core. It was scary, kind of shook me to the core to the point where I started looking at everything and came across an opportunity to buy an existing right at home business that had been around for 5 years. Again, somebody that wasn't successful really at it, hadn't really maximized it, and I kind of almost happen chance that I even looked at the opportunity and had to really evaluate what I wanted to do at the age of 45, what I wanted to do next. And I thought, what a great opportunity for the second part of my career to
Mm-hmm.
have more control over my own destiny,
Mm-hmm.
to be in healthcare, but be closer to the
Mm-hmm.
end user. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing in healthcare how you can be so far away from the patient
Yeah.
so many times.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love about what I do today and what our company does and what we represent to help improve the quality of a life of a client that we serve.
Mm-hmm.
They're right there. You can touch them,
Oh.
and the feedback when you hear it. I mean, it just it means so much the amazing care that our caregivers give. And that to me is different. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know it, but I was
Mm-hmm.
looking for it. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I found that out as time went on.
I love that. And I can sense your fulfillment in this role. And I'd love for you to just share a recent story, if one comes to mind, of a moment where you just had an aha moment or something that made you feel really good at the end of the
Well,
day.
gosh, we have lots of them. It's funny because in this business, a lot of times, a lot of the things you hear are just the problems, right? And because
Hmm.
if everything goes great and it's wonderful, many times they're not calling you, but I will share a quick story. It's about a year ago or so, and it was one of our clients in Charlotte, and he's a veteran, and it's awesome. I love taking care of our vets, and his caregiver, he loved his caregiver so much, and he had responded so well to her. He's a very difficult client, and he had his granddaughter's wedding coming up on a weekend, and he's like, "Gosh, I don't get care from right at home. How am I going to go to my granddaughter's wedding?" So we established an opportunity for the caregiver to take him and accompany his wife to the granddaughter's wedding outside of the normal time on a Saturday evening.
Hmm.
And he got to spend that time with his family. She got to help him make sure that he was safe.
Hmm.
And I mean, it was such an amazing, we received so much from that experience that caregiver did. They even did a story on the local TV about it,
Wow.
and there
Wow.
was a nice little snippet on the local TV about it. But I think it just goes to show you, sometimes you have to be creative in how you handle some of these things, and that was so rewarding for both the
Oh.
caregiver, the client, and all of us at Right at Home.
Ah, what a great story. Thank you for sharing. And so, in all your years of being at Right at Home, as you know, there's a plethora of support that surrounds you in every aspect of your business. Um, in thinking about the biggest value to you, what would you say is that key piece of support to you?
Oh gosh, you use so many different parts of it at different times, kind of in the
Hmm.
life cycle of
Hmm.
being with Right at Home. I think initially it's great to have, such important resources there
Hmm.
for you as you're
Hmm.
beginning. So I think that was great. Now it's much different, but I
Hmm.
think if I can think of one thing, it's the resource of of the franchisees and then the coordination and the leadership that Right at Home in Omaha has shown to then put those franchisees together in a performance group. I think that's where the value once you and the performance group really is just a group of owners that all are faced with so many of the same challenges, but it's our own opportunity to tap into in a very intimate way,
Hmm.
tap into other owners and successes and failures and learnings and all of that. And so I just think the way that Right at Home has organized that is probably one of the best resources. I think if I could add a 1A, it's I love the Caregiver of the Year opportunity and just
Hmm.
the recognition that that does. Because even if your caregiver doesn't win, the recognition that you can
Hmm.
give to that caregiver from your agency
Hmm.
that they didn't win the caregiver of the year, right? They don't get to come to the national meeting and all that, but they get recognized as one
Hmm.
of the top caregivers, and they get the certificate and all of that. I just think it's a really great resource from an employee experience perspective.
Wonderful. Yeah. And recognition goes a long way. We know that.
Oh yeah.
And so you did, to go back, you did mention it was different from the beginning to now. So, talk to us a little bit about what that typical day looked like when you first took over that resale to today and how your day to day has changed. Share a little bit about that with us.
Yeah, I think the biggest change is when you're new and you're
Hmm.
kind of just trying to build and grow even at a different stage, right? It's all new. You're much more in the business day to day.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I had every caregiver's phone number in my cell. I had every client's phone number. They were calling me personally, constantly, and I think you're intimate
Hmm.
with the day-to-day operations. And I think, as the only way to get out of that
Hmm.
is to be able to hire an amazing team around you. And I
Hmm.
think, so much different now is I spend a lot more time supporting my team members. I spend a lot of time coaching the coaches and
Hmm.
trying to help our office leaders, our leadership team.
Hmm.
We've adapted or adopted EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. We're
Hmm.
about 2 years into it,
Hmm.
and it's just been an amazing difference to give people the kind of empowerment and ownership. I think that's been a big change, but that's what I work on now is I have a chance to more general manage, and to
Hmm.
me that's an amazing thing to do now versus maybe the day to day. But early on, you do need to get in front of people to sell your company. So even if
Hmm.
you're not in sales,
Hmm.
my best advice is you better figure out how to sell because you're
Mm.
going to have to sell yourself to
Yep.
somebody or they're
Hmm.
never going to utilize or trust Right at Home. And I think, uh, too many times we get in the situation we might hire a salesperson. That's fine,
Hmm.
but also know you're going to need to influence people in your community and be a part of
Hmm.
the community as
Hmm.
well.
Yeah. Great tip. Goodness. So yeah, be the face of your business. At the end of the day, we know people are going to refer to people they trust and they can put a face to that
That's
business.
right.
So, um, thank you so much for all your wealth and your wisdom. And even as prospects look at these interviews to really determine what route they want to go, because at the end of the day, they have a choice in who they want to partner and align with. Do you have any final words of wisdom that you would like to share as maybe just another tip or best practice for those who are considering right at home?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that anything really comes to mind. Man, yeah, one thing that is interesting, make sure you do your due diligence,
Mm.
and I think talk to other right at home owners,
Mhm.
and if you do, you'll feel confident with your decision, and because the system itself, there are so many engaged owners. And if
Mhm.
you can have an opportunity to speak to them about their time with Right at Home and
Mhm.
really understand how passionate most of us are about what we do
Mhm.
and the support that the system gives us at every level.
Mhm.
And I would even say to your office staff as you continue to grow your business, there's phenomenal support from the system. I encourage you to do your due diligence because if you do, you'll come back to Right at Home. And that's why we're one of the largest systems in home care business
Mhm.
and continue to win, different franchise awards and different business awards. Great place to work and all kinds of things every year. So I just
Wonderful.
encourage that.
Okay, so maximize the validation stage. It's
Right.
an
That's right.
absolutely wonderful way for them to get a balanced perspective of ownership. So thank you for that. And thank you for your commitment. It's evident you're a hands-on leader. Obviously, it's led to your success in your 5 territories. Thank you for your commitment, not only to your staff, but to the clients, the community, just really being neighborly, it sounds like as well. And at the end of the day, your intimacy and really making sure that your business is a reflection of you in that you are here to serve those who are in need of your services to improve the quality of life for those individuals. So thank you, Ken, so much for your time today.
You're very welcome. It was great. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.